mind, body, and soul. The information is the goal. Try to learn something new without being distracted.
Well, I'm like a third of the way into this book, so I've gotten to this point where it starts to get pretty crazy, and it's going to be good for some debates because he like talks us into this. Like you're with him, you're like, okay, I get it, we cooperate, okay, yeah, revolution, all right, and then okay, then we made that, and then we got that, and then he gets to like the imagination part and how like basically our ability to tell stories is what has somehow unified us to bigger and better things. So like his example, I can't remember which particular one, but he uses like the idea of Mitsubishi, let's say, like the car company. It doesn't exist. It's a story. Someone made it up, and like like everyone believes that it exists. So that's why it continues to function. And then he takes, and I'm like, okay, cool, I get that, right? Like because we all agreed that we would believe that this is a thing, then that it happens. And if everyone stopped believing, like some tipping point, then Mitsubishi would be no more. But then he goes so far as to say, like he applies it to human rights. And then you go,
yeah, I remember that part.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Which
and
is a concept, not a right.
Yeah, it's just an idea. Like it's just a story that we all think sounds good, but nobody actually has them.
Thing.
Yeah.
We decided to have them. Yeah. Well, let's wait till the others catch up on that.
Like the legal system too.
Everything.
Like the legal system is all imaginary.
Like it's all, and then it goes back, like that stupid book, The Four Agreements. It goes back to that, like we're all living a dream, like, but it's kind of true, right? Because somebody
should have done this Four Agreements book, because you guys all know it.
Don't do it.
What are
they? Such a good.
What am I agreeing to?
What am I agreeing to?
Yeah, they also say, he also says corporations, which kind of blew my mind, but made me think of that. Like corporations are legal entities, so they're actually like in the back in the day, a person would be responsible for their businesses, or they would be sued, or they would be jailed, or they whatever. But they now made it, because of our imaginations, this corporation is its own entity, even though it's just a figment of our imagination. But we've all given it power. So now this corporation has a massive amount of power, but it's not real. It's like something we wrote down on a piece of paper and we had someone sign in. And if you do all these steps, then it exists.
Well, money too.
Money's one of the things. Yeah,
we made that up.
Yeah.
Couldn't we argue though that all things that is essentially what dualism is that nothing, there's two of everything, that you don't have something that's tangible and real in reality unless you have the thought of it first. I know that's kind of separate from what we're discussing here, but I
think you're saying the same thing. I think like nothing exists unless you thought of it first.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the tree exists, but like it wasn't a tree until we named it. Like
it wasn't
I don't know.
called an oak until we named it as an oak.
Right. It could be a birch and like whatever. Like we made it up. We classified it. We categorized. That's the other thing too. I think he gets on about like how we have so many papers. Right? We're all like recording and documenting everything, and then we have nowhere to put it. So we built bigger cities to hold bigger boxes of bigger recordings. Like, and there's people specifically tasked with filing everything. And like, I mean, now it's computers, but we're all like collecting all this data all the time, I guess, to reinforce our stories. Like, I'm not even really sure. I had a time in space where I was asked to join this podcast and I had nothing to do. So I read lots of the books, and I only made it a third of the way through this. So I haven't read it since, I don't even know, maybe even a year ago, kind of, because it was in the summer-ish that I started cramming. So I'm scared I won't finish either. And I almost want to reread what I already read so I can, because I, like most things, the thing that resonates with me sticks, but all of the around it that makes it valid for me to share it to anybody else gets really foggy, and so I feel like it renders me useless in talking about it sometimes.
I think that's like with any, like that's why it's nice to own books if you can, like if you can afford to buy books, certain books, because certain books you just want to read and then let it sit, and then maybe a year later read it again, and you can pick up on different things. Like a book that's very important to you, it's nice to own.
I like books that were important to me, that like affected my life, I carry around with me even when I'm done reading them. I don't plan on reading them again, but like a safety blanket of sorts. Like Eat, Pray, Love was profound for me, and I carried it in my backpack for a year or more after I read it. And I just to have it.
Did you reference it? Like, did you
No.
pick it up?
Nope.
Oh, it was just there.
It was just literally on my person to make me
Aw,
feel
that's
supported.
Aw.
Yeah.
Like
Little
that. No,
bit of
you're talking to
knowledge.
someone who carried around a frog in her pocket or purse for a good year.
A
just
real
because-
frog?
No, oh, sorry.
Alive?
I should have been more clear. Like a sculptor, like a
Terrible
little.
for the frog.
By the end of it, it's like,
Did you have
I'm like,
water,
don't
or-
let me down.
It died.
No, it was never alive. It was like a toy frog. But yeah, there was just something like almost, like a blankie, or it was just a signifier. It was a signifier that I wanted to identify, being a new self-concept. But in order to get there, it's sometimes a bit challenging and you fall back in your old ways. Yeah, but you just
I
need
love
that signifier to be, I don't know, it just feels good to have it with you. Because it's
There
like,
used to be-
No, I have
I
an
had
altar
that.
of my special little things. Yeah.
You do?
I love my little
Aw.
things. Yeah,
No.
part of it's I have multiple, but one of them's right here if you want to see it.
Well, yeah, we do.
Let's see.
Is that my word?
Oh, I like that. It's a triangle.
Oh, it's a triangle.
Yeah, my buddy built this. He originally built one for his wife for all her essential oils, but I was like, I want one. So I have that's a cast of my mom's teeth. This isn't ultra worthy. This is Dr. Numb.
That's how you got your mom's
It
teeth.
really works.
Yeah.
Why the cast
And then
of
like
mom's-
my special stones.
And
like-
mom's teeth. I love
Yeah,
We can't get past the teeth.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they're so cool to see. Like that's what her teeth look like. Like how weird.
I've got like at
I
least
want
3
a
sets
cast
of my
of
own.
teeth.
I threw mine away. My dentist was like, keep them for a month, and I was like,
they're so cool.
well, I didn't keep them
My
in my
kids, I gave some to my
Oh my
kids. I love it.
Yeah, they're neat.
Good toy.
I like it. I love those. Yeah, I love that. Like having something that I do that, but I didn't realize I did it till Kara talked about the frog.
The real
Right.
frog.
There's
I
definitely
need to
like
see the frog.
Oh, I don't want to like rely on something tangible because for me, I just don't like. So I would rather. I don't know. I just feel like, what if that gets lost, and
There's
then
power
would
in releasing.
I worry
Oh.
that piece of me, then how can I get that? So if I put it all into that, so I actually try not to put value in anything tangible.
I like
I had this.
Ah.
If I can.
There's a sense of release, like Kim was saying. Like I had this. I really like sticks, and I had this wonderful stick, and I had like taken all the bark off and smoothed it off. Anyway, I have a whole process that I do with a different stick. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I carried this stick around, and I just liked holding it and looking at it, and I'd like put it in my bag and whatever. And then I don't know. I had this stick for quite a while, and then one of my kids broke it, and I was like, oh
no.
Were you
and I just put it back together, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, wait, it's okay,
Yeah.
right?
It's not the
Because
stick.
she's more important to me than that stick. But there was like this like disappointment, and then it was done.
I used to do something for when I was younger, but I stopped doing it when someone said like it could be like a borderline OCD, so I stopped it. But I used to, for reassurance, kind of like you guys, I used to do things in threes. Like I'd lock a door 3 times, it'd make me feel comfortable, like it would reassure me. Or like all these little things, like just anything, tap something 3 times, like just these little like I don't know, this made me feel secure if I did things in threes. I don't know, maybe because there's 3 kids. I don't know. I have 3 kids. I don't like if I did things
You're
in
still
threes,
doing it.
but kind of. That was the
we're all
locking the door
doing
3
this
times.
stuff.
Like
It's
it
a
just makes
ritual.
me feel reassured. I stopped doing majority of my little threes, but it's true. I had 3 kids and
Well, we're all doing things like this all the time, coping, counting in our heads, and
I love
locking the door
counting
3 times.
everything.
It's all about what is we're all self-soothing in some more obvious ways than others. I think it's more about like, is it not serving you anymore? Like, does locking the door 3 times, like you can't do something because you're like, you have to do it 3 times? Then it's like, a problem.
Then it's
But it's like, where is the problem?
Yeah, because like with Lindsay's thing, she doesn't want to be attached or whatever, which is
Yeah,
great.
I love
and that would
that
be the
too.
problem. Like if Meredith had to stay in bed for a week because that stick got snapped, then that's too
Yeah.
much of a commitment to your stick.
Yeah, like it's
Right? You
all
have to
like
keep it in
about
perspective.
And I think I worry.
No.
That's what I worry about. That's what would happen to me. Like I
Yeah.
know that could happen to me if I feel that like I would just it would be too much. So I don't do that because I'm worried that like the hole that I would go if I started doing that. Maybe.
Yeah, like you recognize that you don't need additional things to be worried about.
Yeah.
So part of looking after you is like minimalist approach. It's
well, I'm not minimalist. I have a shit ton of stuff.
No, totally, but where you can.
I just don't care about anything.
You don't need the things. You don't need to be. Yeah, you need to be invested in like actual things.
Like, Meredith's kids can come over anytime. Smash it all. It's fine.
Like I have the thing where I've worked out that I'll be okay with nothing because you can just re-get it. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing that's so important, tangible thing that it should cause too much upset. But I still collect things. Yeah, I don't worry. You know what I mean? But I don't know when I came to it. I don't know when I came to it, but it has something to do with like moving and like just selling all my stuff. Maybe because I was moving across the country. So I literally went with just a suitcase, and it was so freeing. And it's like, okay, like that shelf was cool, but like there's another shelf on the buy and sell. Like,
do we all have one thing that we think might be the most challenging if we had to like just step away? Like if we just had to go, do we think we'd have one thing? I definitely do. As you were talking
like
about
a
that
stuff thing?
I don't.
A something like mom's teeth molds.
No. Fuck it.
I think it's my stuffed animal, like my bear that I've had since I was a
Mikey?
Yeah, like I don't know if I could go on, guys. I just don't.
I love Mikey so much.
So much.
Needs to put him up on Instagram.
Okay.
He's
wonderful.
famous.
He's so wonderful.
Yeah. Well, if
Isn't
everyone
that
can
funny?
think of what their thing is, let's share this shit.
For me, like I've got rid of lots of stuff moving over the years, but I don't get rid of art. So I have accumulated a lot of art, and like I couldn't take it if the house was burning or anything. But I would constantly, probably for the rest of my life, with any new houses, as I'm hanging new art, I'd be thinking, like I'd feel like disappointed that I didn't have those pieces of art anymore.
You would grieve
so I think
their
that for me-
loss.
Yeah.
I would grieve their loss.
Good way to put it,
regularly.
Meredith. Good way to put it.
Yeah, I'd grieve their loss. But you know, in the book, he mentions this too. He mentions how Homo sapiens, because they were hunter-gatherers, didn't have stuff. Like humans didn't have any stuff before. So it was hard to determine things that we were into as Homo sapiens before we started like spending more time in like actual places. Then we started accumulating things. But before then, because they didn't have horse and buggies, they didn't have anything to travel with. It was whatever they could carry on their back. So it was only like essential things.
No rocks. No
You
rock
leave your
collecting
rock
in
collection
those days.
behind.
Yeah.
Mikey's not making it.
Yeah. Sorry. Now is not the. Isn't that fascinating that as we started to evolve and recognize that we could be better served by not moving constantly to where the food is, but if we were to be like, no, this spot, and form more like villages and be like, and how about we purposefully plant seeds right here, that as that transition happened, what flared up was this compulsion or need or want or desire to have things and keep them.
Well, that's because you had to protect them, right? Like you didn't have to protect anything when you're moving around because nothing was yours. But then you get this sense of ownership, and when you stay in one place, and then someone else might want what you have, and then, you know,
tribal warfare,
the downfall of humanity.
Book interrupted.
My interruption is Newfoundland rain. I'm gonna try to turn this around so you all can. So no, you can't really see him in the car, trying to pick up stuff for the festival. Oh my gosh, it's so rainy. I'm like so absolutely drenched, soaked, trying to do it. All right, bye.
Book interrupted.
I'd like to do something that's not destructive, it's
Productive?
probably in poor taste. But I
Oh.
promised to buy another book to support Yuval Harari. And I'm cutting this fucker apart.
Oh my gosh.
I randomly
She's been
picked
prepping it
page
this whole time.
259.
Totally,
It says
she's very
knowledge is
prepared.
power. I'm not mad at the book. I want to make it more palatable.
Is anyone else getting heart palpitations?
Oh my
I'm not liking it.
I need
I'm
to
feeling
book an
a little bit
appointment with my
Something that we've
therapist.
been taught never to do.
Kind of
is to
something
hurt a book.
satisfying. I don't know.
And it
probably
feels
would be
very
useful.
satisfying.
It's very
because
rebellious.
It feels
I want
very
to cry. I
I'm
literally
angry.
want to cry.
Conflict
Paper
waiting to
from the
happen.
fallout?
Conflict waiting. It's not peace, Sarah.
Can't
It's not
breathe.
peace.
Can't breathe.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay, good
Why
luck with
is
that.
this
We have
causing
two
such
cards.
strong reactions?
I know it feels very book burny,
Oh.
very like
so wrong.
burning a book. Like, but
Does
I'm
feel like
not
that.
sullying it. I will read both parts.
Okay.
And this is just more portable.
Okay.
All
Oh my
right,
God.
and that felt
cut
very
a book.
good.
Guess we should
Felt
have
very
done
good,
that.
very
It did
raw,
not feel
but very
good. It did not feel
And
good.
I will buy another copy to support Yuval Harari's work.
I can't believe we ended on this. I feel so uncomfortable.
And I hope that it doesn't come across to any of our viewers that I'm disrespecting his work. I think it's a great book, and I just think this makes it more practical to carry.
I think that's great. You tell me how it goes because I'm interested in it because I hate carrying big books. So
Great.
I regret
And
telling
next
you that
time-
people
when you
did
see
that
me next,
now.
it'll be a glitter
Damn it.
cover.
You're such
It'll be a
an
glitter
enabler.
cover.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make
Yeah.
a cover. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's
Maybe.
appropriate. You
Wow.
know, if early humans didn't keep things, Sapiens.
There
Sure.
you
It's
go.
just in your
Nothing
nature.
is sentimental if
Okay.
everything is sentimental.
and on that note,
Well, thanks, ladies. I guess that's
Oh,
it.
Sarah is like notably uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable.
yeah, she's like, I need to
can
go.
feel it all the way across the planet.
I need to flight. I need to flight.
She really
right
believes.
now.
Sarah's like really physically uncomfortable.
Yep.
You can smell it. Okay, well, see you guys later. If you've enjoyed these video highlights, listen to the full episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when new episodes are published. Find out more by going to www.bookinterrupted.com.
Book Interrupted.